All right, we should be live here. People on. I'm gonna post. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I have to go to Instagram and do a story about this, just so a lot of people follow me directly from Instagram. So hold on 1 second. All right, we're back. Sorry about you. I'm trying to put you in a phone holder here. The ice is singing tonight, boys and girls. So who do we got on? Leave some comments below. Who's on? Where you're from? What town, state, country? Because I got a lot of folks from Canada. We're running the live scope here in front of me here, and then I have Aquaview on my right on a different jig, and I do not have cusk lines down because that was not the goal today. Was to take home a cusk, and I don't eat a lot of fish, so I'm not doing that. But I love jigging for them. We got Central Mass, awesome, and I have smelt, probably 10 feet wide, and from 10 feet, probably 5 feet down, all the way down to about 30 feet, and I'm in like 42 feet of water. Horrible on Saturday night was singing extremely loud, even had a crack starting to get another chair. Spruce Mass doing overnight in Maine. Wednesday, awesome. Jealous. Hey Becca. Hey Jason. Hey Jeremy. Hey Ryu. Crying in the chat. Yeah, this is actually a sponsored video, and that's the only reason I came out today, is to get it out and done. Hey Mike, I know we've been chatting today. Sorry I haven't been super responsive. I've been like buzzing around with Snow Dog and can't answer with this. Like, you take your hands out of the gloves today when it was blowing 20, and your hands are basically done. So, and I forgot to start my GoPro. Hold on 1 second. Just put a new memory card in today. We've caught some fish today, and I think I've seen a couple burbot kind of slinky on by underneath me, but burbot are can't see very well, so they need to be like right nose on the bait in order to get hooked here. And I did have my jig on the Aquaview here for a little while. I had played with one Laker today for probably an hour or so. Oh, no, there's smelt on the bottom of the lake. I thought there was a burbot down there right now, but there's not. So I played with a Laker for about an hour today, and then I finally put this little tiny hook on with one little split shot above it, about a foot, with 12-pound test and just a little tiny piece of chum on there, and he finally ate it, and I got him. So got quite a few lake trout today. Not a great day, but yeah, this is my, not the honey hole spot, but another really, really good spot if it freezes. So a lot of my videos have been coming from right here. Why does that say 4 hours on it? You're not supposed to say 4 hours. No. Caught pin smelts. I have not caught pins. I've snagged one years ago by accident, like just ripping a spoon. But most of the time, like how my pin smelt pattern is matched is because they actually, ooh, that's a lake trout. Come over here, buddy. Come here. Come here. And it's so dark out right now. And 5, 6, 7. Who wants to look up when sunset is? There's so many smelt underneath me that lake trout's piecing out nice and slow here. He gone. He's at the 25. He's gone. He's gone. I'm not going for them anyways. Yeah, I need 2 hours after sunset is legal. So. But yeah, you're not supposed to catch. I don't know if it was this year or last year. They did something in the last year or two that you cannot jig for smelt in any of the lake trout lakes here in New Hampshire anymore. And I don't know if that's always been the case or they just made it. I think they just made it because it wasn't in the 2023 rule book. Now it's in the 2024 rule book. And I thought they were supposed to put like a notification in the book saying, oh, this is what we changed from one year to the next. So you just looked at that. But I have 6 minutes left. Oh, well, I could have caught that lake trout then. Thank you. And I actually have the 2024 rule book with me somewhere. It's on my phone, obviously, too, but thank you. 522. And I have a small moat, a small pond building up in front of me here, but I'm actually gonna swish it away here. Swish it into the ice because I don't have enough milk totes and stuff to keep everything up. So I'm keeping the sonar up to help my neck. What was that? If I just pause, it's because the fish came in. Yeah, so I try, like normally if I'm home or editing or something like that, I just drink water all day. If I'm out ice fishing, I like forget, and then I drink a bunch of water to not like cramp up, because like wearing these style boots and stuff like that is not the best like ergonomic. So try not to get cramped while I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag. There's nothing worse than that. So, and then I just have to pee all night when I'm in the sleeping bag anyways, which is not fun. I gotta change this memory card out because I thought it was empty and it's not. Should have been. Well, you know what? I think I was having trouble with my computer when I was trying to clear out my memory cards last time. When do you guys want to stop seeing ice fishing content? Because I need to know. Obviously, there's 28 of you right now that prefer to see ice fishing content. But when do you want to start seeing open water lake trout so I can go to Sebago and in Maine, Sebago in Maine, I can go to Champlain. And I already actually have I have multiple, well, I have a fall lake trout video from Sebago, and I have, why does that one say even less minutes? Well, that's the one I just took out, I think. Son of a bee. And none of my memory cards are labeled, of course, so it's just April. No. Mid-March, I'll probably be out. Probably releasing videos. Right now, it's getting towards the end of February. Best time of burbot fishing. Still to come. Yeah, there's not. It's weird. I like burbot fishing, especially with the underwater camera. It's really, really fun. It's a very small subset of people that like burbot fishing, like worldwide. It's even way smaller than lake trout, so it's like a niche inside of a niche inside of a niche. So I like doing it, but as far as YouTube's concerned, and like people searching for burbot jigging, it's not as common. A lot of people don't like them at all, and they're actually just slightly becoming more popular because of technology and social media. Let's see if this memory card has the right stuff in it. There we go. That one says the right time on it. I saw some big lake trout today. I saw one that's punched out to like 150, and if I can see a lake trout out 150 smashing through smelt, it was a big fish. No, either that's a... If my phone wasn't charging, I'd show you guys my screen here, but it's loaded with smelt. I effing hate these chairs. I gotta set the time on the GoPro. Actually, you know what? Okay, we're good. GoPro's rolling. I think there's some smelt on the bottom. Some big, maybe some jack smelt down there. But I'm not in a super good burbot spot. I know there's burbot in the area, but it's not a super good burbot spot. That's the most appealing thing about them. Yeah, my first experience with burbot was like really good. I went up to Pittsburgh, and my now good buddy Ryan, he sent me a spot that I thought he had fished. He says, "Oh, this looks really good." We go there in the summertime with our boats or whatever. I forgot what that came down to, but I went there with my buddy Seth, and we ended up catching a bunch of burbot. Out of the blue, I'd never caught one before. Didn't even know they existed in New Hampshire, so that was cool. And when there's really good ice, I have a couple of good spots, but setting up super shallow for them is not, it's effective, but when you set up super shallow, you're limited to how far you can see with live scope and how many like you can have your 6 lines out, but right now I'm in 42, which I also think is a little too deep for burbot. I think they get barotrauma. They recover fairly well compared to some other fish. One of my really good spots is in like 55 feet, but that would be open water. And actually, I was like near open water today, besides like a normal like pressure crack or a whatever you want to call it, like a bubbler or something like that. There's open water near me. Not close, but close enough. And I'm actually, and like bathymetric maps are sometimes hard to read, especially when you're whizzing with a snow dog. And I just found fish here, so I just keep like coming back to this spot. I'm actually in a saddle. Who's doing it? Oh, now that could be a burbot right there. That could be a burbot. Let's see if I can call him over here. He's 14 feet away. Yeah, so 50 feet's good. I think they just do whatever they want depth-wise. I'd really love to get, if you guys have done any burbot searching where they get into a burbot ball and they spawn, and it's just like a whole group of them having a good time, for lack of a better term. I don't want YouTube to flag anything for verbiage-wise, but I'd love to get that on video. That would be insane to have for New Hampshire content. My plan was to do Moosehead this year, but I'm running out of days here. I have I want to switch to open water as fast as possible, beat some other content creators, because all the Canada guys have, I mean, they fish until like late April and beat me to early. They release a bunch of stuff before ice, and then they beat me to early ice as well. So I'm trying to beat them to open water, which is my only advantage, except for when we have a really cold year and they don't. But I've heard they had a late start too. So, and some like Minnesota and stuff still has a crap ice. And I'm only on. There's nothing worse than getting your line stuck in the ice. You know that? I'm only on this much ice, so from the tip of my rod to here, it's 8 inches or so, 10 inches maybe. It's good black ice. Top of it's a little punky just because of all the warm weather we had during the Derby weekend. And I did not fish the Derby. I said I was going to. Apologize, but I did not. My buddy backed out last minute, and I actually went to Sebago with a boat, so you guys will be seeing a boat video from that weekend. Try and find this one more. Yeah, I've actually, my biggest one came out of Elacoya area. It was productive for me. We actually didn't catch any. I think Ryan caught one. Ryan and I went out. Ryan caught one ahead of time, and then I woke up the next morning and caught my biggest, which was like half-inch short of a trophy for New Hampshire. It's like 27 and a half out of 28 inches or something like that. So many smelt on the screen. Let me see if I can spook them. And you guys have not seen this yet, but this is a bad lighting in here. This is called the flying tube. This is a special design made for me, or I designed and had made for me basically, and I have not released it yet. But this thing darts underneath the water like crazy, like kind of like a jigging Rap, kind of like a airplane jig. And I had a fish on it today, and I've caught fish on Sebago with it actually when the boat was the other day. But it is absolutely insane on live scope. I mean, it just darts, and it's just super erratic, and it's awesome. And I have not released it yet because I have been too busy editing and doing a bunch of other work. And I think March is going to be absolutely even crazier for me this week. This month has been crazy already. Business-wise, if you any of my people on right now, if you bought stuff from me, I very much appreciate it. If you have orders out to me, I even more appreciate it. But my plan is to get a bunch of them done tomorrow and on Wednesday, and ship them out probably Thursday or Friday. I'm behind, so don't kill me. It's supposed to be like 11 degrees tomorrow morning too. 32 folks on. I'm not really seeing anything on the Aquaview, but I'm keeping it on, and I'm recording that screen. I got some actually cool Aquaview footage today of a very, very finicky lake trout. So you can fish for any species on Winnipesaukee, as long as it's not salmon, lake trout, or rainbow trout. That's the rule. So burbot you can jig all night. Pickerel you can jig all night. White crappie, or not white crappie, white perch. That could be, I don't know what that is. I got a fish that keeps showing up at like that 14, 20 foot mark. So yeah, there's a lot of people that go out and jig for burbot at night, and you just can't target trout. So if I catch a trout now, let's say, my goal is to get him unhooked as fast as possible No gripping grins, basically none of that jazz. Just throw them back down the hole. Yeah, that's the goal. So I'm jigging for burbot or cusk. And I call them burbot because I didn't know New Hampshire called them cusk. I was just like used to watching the videos where they all call them burbot. I have like this much ice, so however much that is from the tip of my rod to about there, whatever I said earlier. Enough to not make me worried. And where I am, there's open water that way, and there's open water quite a ways, a couple miles that way. Yeah, there's Michigan or Minnesota, where I just was to do. Lake Superior calls them dogfish. No, dogfish are a different family. Those are like bowfin. Those are different. Those are like warm water species. Like Champlain has them. There's a couple places in New Hampshire that have them, but it's very rare. We call them cusk burbot. I have caught rainbows in Winnipesaukee. Caught a couple this, actually more than I normally do this year. Not through the ice this year. Normally I catch a couple through the ice just by accident. I have seen quite a few this year on live scope, but I try to target them. They're always moving, so I've not caught any salmon this year, mainly because I've been fishing fairly deep. Like this spot's in 40, 43 feet of water or something like that. 40, 42, 43. And it's been really, really good to me. I've caught a dozen fish here one day, back to back to back. So today's been a little bit slower. Ah, dang it, my freaking lines are tangled. Eel pelt, loyerling, cusk. Yeah, I've never heard dogfish. And I think the Latin term is lotta lotta, Lota. And if you guys have watched me plenty of times, like I'm using both these rods next to me have the they're both the lake trout rods from Circle Tackle, and I'm using 12-pound Seagar Blue Label leader, 15-pound Popper braid, Circle Tackle's K1000 reel. This is my jig and plastic bait, and then I have that same thing on my other rod there that just got tangled. Because like I said, this thing freaking darts everywhere. And it was so cool today with the AquaView. I could just like hop this thing. Like literally I could hop it like 6 or 7 feet. Like hop it on the bottom, just like scoot. Pause for a second, and I could literally turn it around, like walk it back. I could make trails in the silt in the bottom. It's really cool. So that'll be releasing soon. I'll have that releasing soon. I'll have a 3-inch pin smelt releasing soon as a swim bait. You guys are hearing it first. But I haven't really used myself yet. I plan on using it on Champlain. But a few weeks ago, I had one chase it up 8 feet from 30. I got no burbot on the screen right now. It's not the best spot for it. Fished half Moon Lake today. Got my first crappie. And the marker used tip ups. Do you have a sonar? That's an awesome bait. Thank you, Jake. Half Moon Lake. Yeah, I would. I mean, personally, I would not use tip ups for crappie. I would just use doe jig for them with live scope. But I would also try to find deep holes for crappie in the wintertime. They like those warmer spots. No, you don't have a sonar. So yeah, the problem with tip ups and crappie, it does work. You got to use a really small like shiner, and they'll run with it. And if they feel tension, they'll spit it out. So your better bet is to maybe use a jaw jacker. I haven't really used set lines for crappie that often. I usually just jig for them because I got live scope or even normal fish tap on Saturday. Nice. Talking about half moon in Washington, New Hampshire. I'm guessing. I mean, there's a bunch of half moons in New Hampshire, so. Hey, babe, here I am. And even with my fairly young eyes, I've had trouble seeing that thing. Just getting here. I'm in New Hampshire right now. And I actually haven't ice fished in Vermont or Maine this year. Which, I mean, just because the ice has been crap. Once I find ice, I try to hit it over and over and over again to get in the area, get fish kind of dialed in what they're doing. Thought I just saw a lake trout up top or something up top, but it wasn't. I have not. So someone commented before, like they saw a cusk came up on Moosehead. We've had open water, a cusk chase just like a lake trout. Like, what is happening? And it ended up being a monster cusk. New follower, love your video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. I gotta stretch. I've been out here since 10. Got here like 9:30, and I was like full sit down in here about 10:30. And it has not been a crazy day, but it's been a good day. The wind was brutal to the point where I got back in my truck trying to decide my life decisions whether I wanted to come out here in the wind or not. Grab me here. Yeah, crappie can be giant pains in the butts for sure. And they can be very pressure sensitive, I feel, but I don't have as many hours chasing crappie as I do lake trout. I spent a lot of hours chasing crappie, but usually there's a couple ponds that I go to that are just loaded, and I don't really have to work that hard. There's some sort of fish that just chased me down. Jeez, I thought that was a lake trout. Hi, Akon. And unfortunately, my heater's about to melt my pond into my ice fishing hole, which means water will come out of the lake into my shack. So give me 1 second. Have you ever put a light under the ice for cusk? Not for cusk. Actually, yes, for cusk, but more of just attracting smelt in the area, which it 100% helps. Even just the light in the shack right now. Give me 1 second, and I'll show you. Just having white light in here, I'll show you how many smelt are just underneath me. It's ridiculous. Here, I'll show you. This freaking phone holder from Eskimo is a pain in the butt, but hold your phone tight. All of those, each one of those dots is a smelt. So, I mean, there's a gigantic school underneath me. Right there's my Aqua view. Right there's my jig. What should I do to get started? For ice fishing. So, if you're really just getting started into it, I've gone from really cheap gear to really expensive gear, and sponsors help me do that a lot, obviously. What I would suggest, like if you're trying to buy stuff first, is go out with a guide and see if you like it. If you got $400 to spend for a few hours of the guide, or split it with some buddies of yours, you'll take your zero learning curve all the way up. They'll suggest gear. They'll suggest all sorts of stuff. If I was to like restart and do ice fishing stuff again, I would first spend money and go buy a used or a brand new ice fishing suit. Like there is nothing worse than being like layered all up, like the Michelin man, not being able to move and still being cold. So get a nice suit, and that'll at least keep you warm, and it's easy to sell after. Get an auger. Get a cheap little sonar like the Garmin Striker Castable that syncs to your phone. Get a cheap rod and reel, and then see if you like it. A lot of people don't like it. They'll try it for a little bit. A lot of people turn it into just a drinking sport. That's usually what the derby stuff kind of is all about. Sorry, any question? Went walleye fishing today in upstate New York. We haven't really had any good ice. Nice. I would love to fish out of a boat all season. Ice fishing is really just passing the time for me. Oh, nice to see you again, Jake. Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question about like how to get started in ice fishing. But I wouldn't target lake trout. I wouldn't target anything complicated. I would just go like to a little perch pond or something like that and do some easier species. And I snagged my own line again. I mean, they're not that far apart, so kind of asking for it. Also, I have never seen this much current on Lake Winnipesaukee before. Like crazy amounts of current. Like where my jig is being pushed 4 or 5 feet in the wrong direction. Did you guys hear that? Spud bar and ice picks, yeah. Safety equipment as well. Every time I make a video about like safety equipment or something like that, that's terrible. So I stopped doing that stuff, as much as I love to share like what equipment you need and how to stay safe during the ice. Fishing Game does stuff. Tim Moore does videos and stuff like that about here in New Hampshire. I might have to cut some stuff now. This is not going to be fun. I don't have cuss lines out tonight. I didn't feel like dealing with them. And I think the last time I went, I had to cut off like 3 or 4 of them. So I had to retie some. Or put on new leaders and stuff. Ow! Frick the hell is so I'm going to drop this jig back down. And I ate dinner at like 6. And I'm already starving, which is not good. I have no other food. Oh yeah, that sucks. But it'll be easy to retie. Kinda. No burbot down there, and I got chum down there too. Heater smells coming. Smelts. Yeah, the smelt are all over the screen. I showed you guys that a minute ago if you want to rewind. But I probably have freaking 200 smelt on the screen. They love the white light. They also like green light too, so. It's a big blob heading towards them right now. I don't know what that is. Could be jack smelt. I was going to say, there's no freaking way that's going to break loose for me. And this is the jig. If I see a fish coming, this is the jig I want down there. My sassy shad style bait. Leader's a little short. I don't feel like changing it now. My leader material's out by the snow dog, which hopefully will start tomorrow. I walked out there on 37 minutes ago just to like use the facilities, and my headlight was on, which I never turn on, so I don't know how that turned on. Well, there's a huge school of jack smelts coming in right now. It looks like they're way bigger. So that's sweet. I tie a double uni knot for all of my line-to-line connection knots, except when I go to Champlain or Sebago, I'll tie a FG knot just for bigger fish. And, you know, you're reeling up 40 fish a day, maybe. Trout and pout spoons. No, I haven't. I've heard of them, though. I have heard of them. They're just like really heavy glow spoons. Yeah, I mean, I bet you half the fishing community in New Hampshire has no idea what a burbot is. Thanks for coming. Have a nice night too. Yeah, I wish I lived in one of the Great Lakes. I'd rather have well, I just messed up my freaking uni knot somehow. I'll see how long I go live for. We got 16 people on. Yeah, they're definitely an underrated fish. They do taste good. First time I made them, maybe second time I made them, I turned them into a like Cajun scallop, like seared scallop lobster roll style, and it was really, really good. And last one I took home, I filleted it and did everything, and then we ended up going out to dinner, and I ended up not cooking it. So we just don't eat a lot of fish in my house. Looniness. And I try to, like, every time I eat fish or I take fish, I do not want to, like, I'd rather catch a burbot in the morning on the set line and take it home not frozen, cook it for lunch or dinner that day. So it's never been frozen. Bleed out fish immediately. There we go. My uni knot overlapped on itself and grouped up. Don't know if that would have affected my strength or not, but Not worth the risk, you know? Could be a slightly bigger lake trout in here. I have not caught any white perch this year. I chased them for a while early this year, like for a few hours. Chased them around, and they were super spooky. If I had someone with me, we would have really got on them. But I normally go for them in like 19-mile Bay Area. Like I find them stacked over there sometimes, but I just don't. I don't focus on them. That's another thing. You know, you ask the interwebs like what Tim Moore is known for, and it's ice fishing. Well, it's ice fishing and it's white perch, right? So my niche inside of the ice fishing stuff is lake trout. Well, that's my goal, at least. Stay in one thing, be really good at it. Try not to focus. Like before, my channel was like all about everything. When I first started the channel, it was about bass fishing. Actually, you watch my old videos, it's about bass fishing. Yeah. Still no fish down there. If you guys are wondering. Bandit is bandit. Lake trout, except for today, man. Today they were being super difficult. I think that I had one that was giving me a hard time for a little while there, and I finally outsmarted him. What you need to do is run to Canada for some monster lake trout. Yeah, I gotta fish with the big guys up there. Clayton Schick would be a hoot to fish with. A hoot. I do. I have chum down for Lakers and burbot right now. I was using shiners earlier, and now I have some tip up suckers that I unthawed one of them and chomped them up. And I had a tip up sucker dead one down all day for probably 5-6 hours, and nothing touched it. So maybe in the morning I'll put one out while I'm packing up. My plan is to just sleep here tonight, pack up, and head out in the morning. What does it say? Anywhere close to salmon fish on rivers? You can landlocked Atlantic salmon fish right now, but they're not huge compared to like the Salmon River. But yeah, there's a place on Winnipesaukee you can do that on. I dropped chum down probably the size of a quarter, and I was eating pistachios today, and I was throwing them down like on like the slush in one of my holes where my transducer is. I'm like, I wonder if they sink. So I threw one down there to sink, and I saw the lake trout pick it up and eat it like 4 times. He's like, that's weird, and he kept spitting it out. So Lakers don't like pistachio shells. Good crappie spots around Manchester, like 30 minutes. You can check out, I think it's called Crystal Pond, right in Manchester. It's like a little park. If it has ice, there's crappie in there. They're not gigantic, but it's a spot that gets fished quite often. Also, the Merrimack River has crappie, but I've never actually targeted them in the river before. Yeah, Balami and Madbury has it. There's there's okay-ish ice, dwindling ice there. I just talked to somebody yesterday about it. Yeah, just go out to the middle and jig. Like the pond kind of like from the beach kind of goes like that. I caught them just like out a little bit and then out a little bit more. I don't know if there's a depth map for it or not, but I don't know if I would eat anything out of there because it's pretty shallow and gets pretty hot during the summertime, but you can try. I don't think there's any hazard warning on it. I met a Ukrainian guy there 3 or 4 years ago that was eating every pickle that he caught. Yeah, we don't have that kind of salmon around here. I've done salmon fishing in Alaska. That was fun. In Valdez or Valdez, where you can actually snag the pink salmon and just take a 9-weight fly rod and just go out there and just strip it back and or use a snagging hook. I was literally just doing that to feed the dog when I was up there on vacation. Yeah, we ended up eating something. You keep like 12 a day. It was ridiculous. Yeah, Alaska's fun. If you guys go back on go get off the live if you want. Look at the playlist on my channel. There's a whole playlist from my trip to Alaska. Scobie Pond. I haven't fished Scobie yet. It's not too far from. I pass by it quite often. So 25 people on. I'm getting tired. I know I go to bed at like 10, so I've literally been jigging since 10:30 this morning. Toasted. Should probably get my sleeping bag out and warmed up. If you have one of these like down style sleeping bags, they are not warm unless they're not warm like this. They need to inflate themselves. If I don't see any fish at like 9 o'clock, ooh, that scared me. So weird. Been getting like random air bubbles come up through the hole today. I'll take a look at. Thank you. I know everyone eats at a big on that pond. Yeah, probably eating stuff out of that Crystal Lake in the wintertime is probably fine, but the summertime it gets probably like cyanobacteria, if I was to guess. But I do not find that the time of day makes a difference for lake trout. That being said, low light conditions work better. So if it's overcast day where you have declining pressure, I found the best, like where the bite's absolutely on fire. Like today we had rising pressure and bluebird skies. It was crap. Steady pressure is also okay. So yeah, Lakers are always eating. I used to think I come from a fly fishing background, like trout rising on the stream. Like this hatches early in the morning, so the bite's usually better. And your shadow's not so casted on the spot that you're fishing. That's not such a big deal about lake trout. But some of my biggest fish have come at like between 3 o'clock to 4:30 in the afternoon. And I know that because I film and it timestamps them. All of my fish have come at that time of day. Yeah, sunny, beautiful days. Yeah, so today, if you look at the Barometric pressure app, or that's the app that I use, but it's actually a website. It's not actually an app on your phone. I don't know why they call it an app. But anyways, I'm not in Wolfboro, but you can use that as a reference unless you want to use Wolfboro. Pressure's going straight up like this for the next few days, and then it's plateauing, and then it's coming straight down like into Wednesday. If I had my choice, which I did not today, and what day I was fishing, because I have commitments the rest of the week, basically, like to edit this video and do stuff, I would have not fished today. I knew fishing was going to be slow today. I mean, I still caught 3 Lakers and probably missed 6. So would have been better, but yeah, I think all my big Lakers have been on Bluebird Sky days too. But the Bluebird Sky stuff. So my biggest Laker ice fishing in New Hampshire is only like 20, 25 inches. I catch way bigger lake trout open water fishing. Just because I can move around more, I don't have to deal with falling through the ice stuff. Good for you. Yeah, into Wednesday should be really good. Like I said, I have to double check the pressure, but should be dropping. The dropping pressure is always good. I proved it twice. It's been good this year in this spot. I've done 4 videos here. 2 videos are great, dropping pressure. Last video was like medium pressure. It's okay. This is rising pressure. Crazy windy today. And I also find out the ice is being super loud. The bite's not the best, but I haven't really proven that yet. Yeah, so today I had a Laker that was giving me a hard time. He was ignoring a 1-inch bait with chum on it. He was literally just a chum eater. He was just swirling around, picking up my chum, being really, really finicky. And so I actually sent down a piece of chum on a hook with a split shot, and I ended up catching him like that. That's how picky this one Laker was. And I have it on. Of course, I didn't record the hook set on the underwater camera, but I got him just nosing on my bait and missing it. Bucktail and sucker all day, every day. Yeah. I'm sure it works. I've only caught a couple of Lakers on a bucktail. Mainly because I don't like carrying around chum or using bait because I have to freeze it or unfreeze it, and soft plastics work just as well. I've got all my big fish on soft plastics. Jigging. I don't target. Actually, this summer, I targeted bass out of the canoe because I was in one of those like trout ponds that you can have that has bass in it with live scope, and the trout were being finicky, and so we kept seeing schools of smalleyes. So we were targeting them, but I don't release videos about them because I'm sure I would get roasted, even though I know how to catch pretty much every species. Where are you at in summer? I'm in New Hampshire. That's the question. I like that with spoons. I like Tim Moore's Nervous Minnow. Yeah, I mean, I've never used his. I've used stuff like that, but I don't use. I will set up a second line, but I have not had that much success with either setting up a tip up. I run another jig down like really right next to me, so if they miss one or they're not wanting that, I'll have another jig really in the mud, and I'll pull it up, and they usually get that. Biggest was actually on us. Oh yeah, that sounds fun. super light wire hooks. That makes me nervous. So I almost caught one on this tube today. I caught one on chum today. I caught one on that. Caught two on my swim baits today. But like I said, it was going to be a crap day. I ain't seeing nothing down there. Nothing. Not even a disturbance on the camera. My cousin has not fished Champlain this year. I was packed and ready to go because I heard there was ice, and then somebody told me that it was not safe really the next day, or like it was safe on a Monday. It was gonna be cold Tuesday and it was supposed to be like safe by Wednesday, but the freaking wind blew it all open and cracked it all up. Yeah, I got some cusk spawn spots that would be nice, but they're up north. I just would love to go do it, but like running up to Pittsburgh and stuff like that. I don't know where they spawn on Winnipesaukee. I'm sure there's multiple areas. It's such a big lake, but I know where the Lakers spawn. Fortunately, you can't target the stupid things. I'm gonna set up my fan and stuff in a little bit. Diamond. I have not fished big diamond yet. I get asked at least once a week. I haven't fished it yet. I fully plan on taking the boat up there this summer. So, yeah, that's a haul for me. That's 3.5 hours to get up there. It's almost Pittsburgh distance, 3 hours. And in order to put my like decent time into it, I would need to spend a couple days up there to like break down the lake. Because usually I'll fish like once, catch one or two, figure out a location kind of pattern, and then come back and do way better the second time. Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, there's 24, I think, lake trout lakes in here in New Hampshire. There's a couple other ones that are just people don't talk about. I would really love to go spend time with live scope in a boat, or some of them are canoes. I spent 3 or 4 trips in one of them, and I saw a 36-inch fish on live scope. You can tell from scale we weren't that deep, so it was massive. And I know one's been caught out of there. So I mean, there's big fish everywhere. Yeah, Winnie seems to have like just a stunted lake trout problem. Not as bad as Newfound, not as bad as some other lakes. And I don't really know why that is. Like last year, I saw tons of forage, tons of smelt. This year, I mean, this is probably the most smelt I've seen. They seem to come more out at night, but before it got dark, I did see a couple of schools of smelt next to me. But last year, like 19 Mile Bay was completely stacked, and this year there was like nothing in there. Though I haven't been back there this year yet. But yeah, I want to spend time in the boat there this summer. The problem is like this channel is not. I need to go out. My goal is to get a video for you folks every week. One video every week. Two, if I'm lucky, or like one vlog style video, and then one informational video. So how to whatever out every week. And that's to steer you folks towards the merch side of my business, whether it's baits or hats or stickers or whatever I have on my website at the current time. Because YouTube doesn't, my size of channel, like YouTube doesn't pay enough for my view count. So I make most of my revenue off of bait sales. So buy more baits. So I could waste, a day at Big Diamond. I could go waste a day at, where's a couple other ones? Like I've spent some time on Winnipesaukee. I spent one day at Squam before. Squam's not known for lake trout, really. There's Mary Meeting Lake. There's Grinnell Pond. Like there's all these little dinky other ones that have lake trout in them. I spent a day on South Pond earlier this year too, that you guys didn't see a video of. My snow dog tried to kill me that day, so I know I can come to Winnipesaukee. I have spots in Winnipesaukee. I know how to catch fish in Winnipesaukee, so I come here a lot, fish here a lot. People aren't worried about me burning the lake down. And it's funny, the guy catches the state record out of Big Diamond, and then people weigh a fish out of Big Diamond again this year, and they're mad at him for doing that. Like, oh, that lake doesn't need more pressure. Like, it's in the state record book. It made like national news. So I don't know. People are so crazy. It's never wasted when you're fishing, Josh. True. Thank you. Yeah, but like, I'm sure a lot of you have 9-to-5 jobs and go out and ice fishing is your stress relief. I'm working right now. Like I'm literally missing time away from my family to be here and do this. I mean, part of it's fun. Setting up the tent today in like 20-mile-an-hour while it was like 20 degrees out was not fun. But catching a few lake trout is always fun. I have fished Silver Lake in Harrisville. And I've caught a lot of lake trout there, actually. But they are stunted too. Every once in a while, there will be that's one of those ponds. Like that one in Granite Lake, I fished both. I've never done a video at Granite because they seem to be smaller, but I haven't spent a substantial amount of time there in the boat. Yeah, I've been asked to go fish Lake Sunapee a bunch, and I fished it in the boat this year, last year, and it was like vacant of life compared to the first couple of years I fished it. Oh, there's a flicker down there. What is it? What is it? Probably nothing. I've been fishing there. Yeah, there's definitely Lakers in there. If you watch one of my, scroll through my Laker playlist, and the video title I think is like, I was shocked on how many lake trout are in there, and it's just like a video, a background of live scope and me doing like this, like being shocked. That's from Silver, but don't tell anybody, including the 20 people on here. Yeah, Sunapee can be tricky. And my cousin lives over in Sunapee. He doesn't live over in Sunapee. I have family that lives in that way, but I grew up actually in Washington, New Hampshire. So I grew up in Washington and moved around a bunch. But the cousin that lives in Weeds that you see on my channel with me every once in a while, he lives in Vermont. Vermont. Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah. I've done a video ice fishing for Sotheby too. I got in a lot of trouble for that one because I apparently blew up somebody's spot, but didn't really. And I have a whole bunch of people that don't like me. I don't know if you guys know that, but there's a bunch of people that don't like me because I've shared spots or I said, oh, I fished this lake, like even the Lake Sunapee, which is, I caught 4 or 5 dinky lake trout that were like this big. People are all upset about it. Oh yeah, yeah. My brother wanted to catch a lake trout, and so I brought him over there. So he lives like probably like 30 minutes from there. But my cousin's on the channel all the time, so that's why I was confused. 14 people on. We'll go for another like 20 minutes or so, and then I'm freaking exhausted. I always forget to break out my carbon monoxide detector, so I'm going to do that right now. Yeah. So my brother's been on the... So my cousin comes on the channel a lot. My brother rarely comes on the channel just because he's got wife, kids, family, all that jazz. If you're camping on the ice, get one of these kitty carbon monoxide detectors. I think the battery lasts like 10 years or something crazy. And I just put it face level in one of the pockets. Get Eskimo pockets. Bum, bum, bum. Went to college with. I don't know who that would be. So my brother comes in the video. Matt's been in the video. Ryan's been in the video. It's Ryan McCarthy. I've had 2 Ryans. There's some guides that I fished with before. Yeah, I don't know who that would be. But yeah, if you're just hopping on, jigging for burbot, in not a very burboty spot, but we're in a saddle right now. We're in between two mountains. Actually, one's over there, one's over there. They come up to like 30 something feet, and we're in the divot right in between the two. So Lakers just kind of funnel right through here, and it's usually really good. It's been a little bit slower today. Fishing for burbot or cusk. Yeah, Matt Rose was in a bunch of my videos. We did some fly fishing together, and he was in one of my Laker videos. 1 or 2 of my Laker videos. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's a guide in New Hampshire. All right, I'm losing hope. My Woody kit works great in the CT lakes. So New Year's video is one of the CT lakes. If you search my channel, Garmin versus Live Scope versus Active Target, that's the Winnie kit. And some of my ice camping videos are from up there. And like we caught probably, we had 4 people in the boat. Each one of us was using a Winnie kit. We had Active Target in the front of the boat and Live Scope in the back. And we probably caught 20 fish in like 4 hours, like the last day of the season. So works great up there. Just gotta sneak them out there. So it's really productive. So they have the same smelt stuff up there as well. Works everywhere there's Lakers. Yeah, anywhere there's smelt, and then I have the big bait kit, which has the stuff I use for Sebago and Champlain. And I use it in New Hampshire too. It's just not as common to. My son gives me stickers. I was just stabbing my hand. It fell down. It's not as common. I was fishing in one of those smaller ponds that are less known lakes, and I could have sworn it was a freaking lake trout. Actually, just like it. I had my 6-inch grub on a 1-ounce jig, and it was a 20-inch rainbow pinned this 6-inch bait right to bottom. Yeah, I haven't used it for. Well, no, I guess I have used it for trout. I've casted for rainbow trout with it, like after they stock in the lakes. Like I think of trout like as of like trout stock streams, but I have not stream fished with it really. I know if I'm fishing for streams and stuff, I usually fly fish. And I stopped fly fishing because I needed to focus more on one thing on my YouTube channel, and that ended up being lake trout. Ended up finding a bait that worked based off of somebody's advice. And then I couldn't find that bait anymore, so I started making them myself, and now I sell them. Yeah, I caught quite a few rainbows this summer jigging for Lakers. I had one that I fought it, and it didn't really fight hard. By the time I got it up, shut it off to the camera, I put it back, thing was like almost belly up, so I ended up pulling him back in and reviving him and kicking him off. I don't know why, he was just had a heart attack or something. Lakers on the fly rod will be next month. Will be in March. So it's not that I stopped fly fishing. I just need to fly fish for Lakers, which is a giant pain in the butt. But it is a lot easier with live scope, so I can see the Lakers. I just have to wait for that fly to sink down with heavy line. What I really like to do is get like a 6 or 7 weight, probably a 7 weight, because right now I'm using a 9. I'm using a 10 weight with 350 grain sinking line, and it's a beast. That's what I use for like stripers and stuff. I'm actually going to do some trolling videos on Champlain because I feel like I can really hook up there and do a good job of showing. I have still yet to catch. I've caught a couple Lakers trolling. Actually, one Laker trolling, and it happened to be on an Aquaview underwater camera, which is the freaking coolest thing in the world. And I ended up catching one salmon trolling that also happened to be on an Aquaview trolling camera in the same day. So it was just like the magic YouTube fishing gods all aligned. And then I've tried ever since, and I have not really hooked up with anything. So, and I have lead core now, and I still haven't caught anything. Yeah, I have very, very short attention span. And the instant I put trolling lines out, I'm like, I'm bored. And like we trolled this spring. It was like you guys saw when I probably trolled live this spring with Ryan. Basically, it was April 15th, something like that. We're going out, and I got live scope down. We got lines off the back, and we just weren't catching fish. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I slammed the boat in reverse, put spot lock on, dropped the jig down, caught a fish immediately. Like within a matter of seconds. So there's some people out there that believe they're like, oh, you can't jig lake trout until it's like, July, where they're below the thermocline. And that's a bunch of BS. Because if you can see them with live scope, you can catch them. I want to like trolling, but I always fall asleep. Yes, exactly. Like I feel like you have to be blasting music or have a few road sodas or something like that. It would also put me to sleep, but I'm excited for open water. I really want to get out there in the boat. A week and a half ago when the Derby was, getting out in the boat was just an absolute tease. I kind of wish I didn't do it because I'm like, oh, now I just want to get the boat back out again. Might camp this weekend, man. So if you're going for lake trout, the Winnie kit is the key thing to use. And my Winnie kit is completely beat up. But that's the Winnie kit. It's got a bunch of tungsten jigs in it. It's got my kit's just a mess of stuff. But it's got baits like that, the 2-inch glow. That glows in the dark like crazy. It's got white and chartreuse. This is the pin smelt chartreuse pattern. And then it's got tungsten jigs, which might be going away, folks. I'm sorry to say, if you're buying them from me, they might be going away. My supplier won't have them until July, and I might have to go directly to China for it. And I really don't want to because that's just a lot of extra work for me. That's what you should be That's what you should be using. Awesome. Sorry, going for Cusk. I like rock piles. I have not caught anything yet. If you just hopped on, I've seen a couple fish swim by, but nothing's biting. I would fish rock piles. So my best burbot spot was it's a reef and it's just covered in big boulders. So I would fish on or near that or along extended points. Usually have rocks on them too. Right now I'm not next to any there. Doesn't that even make those? No, they don't. How long you been out? I've been out since 10:30 this morning, so I'm gonna stay on a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Well, not go to bed. I'm gonna lay in bed. And I want to put my live scope, my Aquaview away, but I have fished Massabesic. If you search my channel, there's some bass fishing videos from Massabesic on my channel, where I was catching a bunch of largies with the fly rod. Actually, largies with swim baits. And I ice fished it multiple times and never caught anything. So, and it's close to my house. I just never freaking fish it because it's all the stupid rules about, I don't want to like fall through the ice and get fined for falling through the ice. So I just don't fish there. But it does have a good smallie and largemouth population. I've taken the boat out there with live scope and done terrible. So sometimes it's a ghost town. Jigging. Yeah, the problem with buying from another thing, and let me show you guys what I want you folks to use. So I just they've been released for a little while, but I haven't really been heavily promoting them. But they are. This one's kind of beat up because it's been in my box here. But this has a 1/0 heavy duty hook. And it's 1/4 ounce instead of 0.2 ounces. Profile similar as the tungsten, but it's the Demiki style head. Of course, yeah, they both got eyes on. Demiki style head that's lead free, made by lead free bass jigs. So it's got a super stout hook, and I caught a 27-inch lake trout with that this fall, day before the last day of the season there. and it's got an integrated hook keeper in there. I'm gonna start switching. I just released the Winnie kit on my website, my new website, benefitfish.com, to include this. You can buy this one or the tungsten kit. Because I think I'm going to phase out the tungstens until maybe July, maybe next ice fishing season where I can just buy them. I've been trying to deal with a direct person in China to try to buy them, and it's like multiple day process, a multi-week process at this point. You can have a partnership. Yeah, I could go through them and do that. I just really like these hooks. I've caught so many lake trout on these little tiny tungstens. How big? What's my biggest one on this hook? Yeah, it's either on this hook or one similar to it. 28 and a half, so close to 30 inches in New Hampshire. Nice. Any depth for Lakers right now? So depth for Lakers on first and second lake. I try to fish on like flats in like the 50 foot and under range up there. So smelt is the same forage as we have here in Winnipesaukee. Those smelt will be up on those flats. You can fish steep ledges, but it's a little more difficult, just like sonar wise. Yeah, some of them have VMC. Send me if you have it. I Dream Outdoors. If you have me on Instagram, send me a link to the ones you're talking about, or Facebook or whatever. Yeah, I've done really well on First Lake in Pittsburgh. I go up there for vacation every year, and I catch a bunch of lake trout. Like my 4-year-old caught a lake trout up there this year. I think he was 3 at the time. Actually, was he? Yeah, he was 3. He had my favorite memory lake trout jigging ever. He had his little Paw Patrol, not the crappie jig, the smelt bait, the Jamaican style head, little Paw Patrol rod hanging over the side of the boat, and I saw one come up on live scope. I'm like, buddy, reel. And he's doing it backwards like this because he doesn't have it. He's young, obviously. And sure enough, he hooked the lake trout. I don't know what pound test it is. I don't know how long that line's been on there for. But sure enough, we hooked the lake trout and brought him up. 90 feet? Where were you fishing 90 feet? I don't ever fish that deep in New Hampshire unless I have to. The only time I fish that deep is in like late summer. Oh, Sunapee. I guess, yeah, I haven't fished that deep in Sunapee. But I've seen multiple 10-pounders be caught in Sunapee this year. The Derby. All right, we'll go for an even hour and a half, folks. We got 6 more minutes, so ask. 6 more minutes? Yeah, 6 more minutes. Ask away any questions you got before I pack it up here and watch some Netflix and chill alone. Yeah, I have marked Lakers in Sunapee really deep there, even in the summertime. Like, could barely see them out by a point. And they were tiny, but that was the only thing I marked that whole trip, and I haven't been back there since. My first trip there with live scope was awesome. Do I ever fish for other stuff besides trout? Burbot, which is what I'm fishing for now. I will go for white perch. I just did a rainbow video, and that rainbow video was kind of by accident. I was actually set up to go for Lakers up shallow, and I kept catching rainbows, so I will go for rainbows occasionally. But one of my favorite things to go for is crappie, and I literally have not gone this year for them. I went last year, and did a how-to video and released another video. So I might do that again this year, just to mix it up. I'll go at the end of the season and hammer a bunch of them. But crappie's my favorite. I just brought my son to go for bass and pickerel, and he caught his first little pickerel recently on tip up. That was exciting. Oh yeah, 100 feet in the summer, but I try not to fish that deep in the summertime. I fish in like 50, 60. Just takes too long to get down there. Ugh. All right, I'm shutting off the AquaView. That means something will come in where I'll need the AquaView. And if you ever wonder how I record AquaView, it's this little device. It's called an Abramedia, which requires a battery pack, an HDMI cable, another cable, and the AquaView that has HDMI out. 10-pound burbot. Someone's setting off fireworks. Great. 10-pound burbot, the best thing you can do is go to Lake Francis. That's what I've heard, and that's where all the big ones get caught out of. Yep, they caught a big one up there during the Derby. Usually, one or two big ones will be like a bunch of them will be caught out during the Derby. I seen a monster get caught out of there like on January 1st. Someone went up there. I have never fished Francis, so that's one of my goals is to fish that. Now, we only have a few weeks left of February here, and I'm committed to not fish the rest of this week and Monday next week. I'm thinking about doing a 3-video series on just targeting big lake trout. Like setting up one big dead bait and one big live bait, and that's it. Not jigging, literally just going for big fish. And releasing a video even if I don't catch something. What do you guys think? Well, we got a minute and a half left to talk here. Yeah, I've got a couple burbot I've caught this year. I caught a couple last year, and I never released a video about it because it was just not the best. That's my plan for maybe the rest of the year for videos. Just had that idea a couple days ago to like just make a little mini series. And I want to fish one lake before the season ends here. But that'll probably be just jigging. Friends forward for me. Yeah, Francis is a 4-hour drive for me too. It ends up taking you a half day to get up there anyways. You wake up early and even if you pack the day before, you still gotta like stop, get food. I usually get gas below the notch if I can, or just above the notch in Twin or something like that. Like you're wasting a whole day to get up there and get set up. No matter how many times I've tried to get up early, because I go. One year I went there like 5 times in a row, or five or 6 times. So I went for 2 family trips and 2 ice fish, New Year's trip, and then an ice fishing trip, and then one other time. But all right, we've reached an hour and a half. thank you all for showing up, and thank you all for the ones that have actually stayed on the whole time. I appreciate it. And this video will be out later this week of me, like today's fishing. And this video was actually sponsored, but I'm not going to show you guys, bore you guys with that stuff. So I'll see you. You'll hear from me on probably Wednesday or Thursday this week. That's my plan on to releasing the video. Okay. Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll let you know if I catch anything.